I found the best Forex robot for passing prop firm challenges with a 92% success rate. And just to give you some context, I've been trading with Forex robots or expert advisors for like the past 5 or 6 years now. And about 3 years ago, when prop firms started popping up and becoming really popular, I decided to go on this hunt to try to find a Forex robot that could pass prop firm challenges for me, get me access to capital, and then go ahead and actually make money on these funded accounts. And so I literally went out and I bought dozens and dozens of expert advisors on the marketplace, all of these guys claiming that they had a robot that could pass prop firm challenges. And as you probably know, most of them ended up being shit. And most of them actually failed the prop firm challenge really, really quickly. However, there was this one guy that promised that he had this robot that could pass prop firm challenges. And so we took his robot and we loaded it up and we took a 100K FTMO challenge account and boom, we're able to pass the prop firm challenge in just a short amount of days without ever having to place a manual trade. So we thought this was really, really exciting. So we went off and we paid him a bunch of money and we actually bought the source code to this expert advisor. And then what we discovered was it was good, but it wasn't great. It was able to pass like 30 or 40% of the time, which was good and better than most of the other expert advisors that we saw, but it wasn't that good. So for the past 3 years, what we did is we took that original source code and we brought in a team of experts, developers, optimizers, researchers, all together with one mission: to build the best Forex robot for passing prop firm challenges. And after 3 years of intense work, we've developed a monster. As a matter of fact, it was able to pass prop firm challenges 92% of the time over the course of the past 52 weeks, had you taken a prop firm challenge every single week over the course of the past year. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works. I'm going to show you that it does in fact work. And then I'm also going to show you how you could actually try it and you could use it and only pay for it if it actually helps you get funded. So before I get in and show you how this strategy works and I show you which prop firms it actually works best on, for those of you guys that aren't familiar, I'll give you a quick rundown of how these prop firms work. This is FTMO. It's the largest prop firm. And essentially what these prop firms are, they're these large capital firms where if you can pass their test, then they'll fund you with like up to $100,000 worth of trading capital. Essentially, the way that it works is you pay like a $500 fee, and then you have 30 days to do about 10% profit target. And if you pass phase 1, you move on to phase 2, and you have about 60 days to do about a 5% profit target. And if you can pass phase 2, then you become a funded trader. You get access to the $100,000. And as long as you stay within their risk parameters, you can keep like up to 80 to 90% of the profits. So which prop firms have we actually been seeing the most success with? Actually, the number one prop firm that we've probably had more people get funded with is actually True Forex Funds. Their test is only $500 for a $100,000 account. They have accounts up to $200,000 all the way down to $10,000. And the reason being is it's like 20% easier. Instead of having to do 10% profit target, you only have to do 8%. And on phase 2, you only have to do 4% instead of a 5%. And the thing that we probably like most about True Forex Funds is that they have 0 minimum trading days. A lot of the times when we fire up this robot, we'll be able to pass the prop firm challenge in just a few days. So it's really nice because the other prop firms, you'll have to trade a minimum of 5 days or a minimum of 10 days in order to move on to phase 2. So we like this one just because we can do it really, really fast. Other ones that we've had a lot of success with, I'd say probably number 2 is My Forex Funds. They have a really cool program as well. And then I'd also say FTMO, which is probably the biggest prop firm we've had a lot of success with as well. But all of these prop firms have been good for us. And if you'd like to see this sheet and just download it so you can make a quick comparison about which one that you want to trade, then you can just write me in the comments or something, and I'll leave a link in the description below. So that way you can get access to this and we update this on a regular basis. The next thing is, how does this strategy actually work, or how does this robot actually work? And so what we did is we built something called the Prop Farming Leaderboard. And essentially what it is it's a whole bunch of different strategies that have actually been proven over historical data and in the live market to be able to pass prop firm challenges, all with our robot, just by tuning the parameters of the robot a little bit differently. So here's how it works. Over here, you see the ranking from 1 all the way down to 100. 1 obviously being the best strategy, 100 obviously being the worst strategy. You can see the strategy name. You can also see the symbol that it trades. So in this case, most of them are trading gold on a 1 or a 2 minute time frame. And you can also see the success rate. So this is what percentage of the time will it pass phase 1 of the prop firm challenge. And this is going for the FTMO standard, which is 10% profit target with no more than 10% max loss or 5% max loss in a day. Now, if you are using True Forex funds or My Forex funds, which are a little bit easier, then you may see the success rate even higher. Now, also, we've come up with a scoring mechanism, which will basically weight more recent data heavier than data that's in the past a long time ago. You also notice that we have a backtest verified column. So we verified that this did, in fact, work over historical data over the course of the last year. And then we have a live market verified column as well to make sure that this didn't just work in historical data, but it actually worked in the live market as well. Now, the cool part about this is that you can just click on this results tab and you can see exactly how it would have performed. So this shows you, had you have taken a challenge every single week, for example, this one started on 11/14 of 2021. You would see what the ending balance is, whether you passed or failed, and you'd also see on what date you passed or failed and how many days on average it took. For this particular strategy, we passed 37 times, we failed 17 times, and we had an average pass rate of about 68%, which is incredible considering if you look at the odds across prop firms, on average, only 6% of people actually get funded. So we're almost 10xing these odds. Also, at the same time, you can see on average, it only took about 3 days to do this. Now, just in full transparency, when you're looking at backtested data is helpful because it gives you an idea of how the strategy performed over historical data. Historical data doesn't necessarily mean that the future data is going to line up exactly the same because, as we know, market conditions change. And that's part of the reason why we created this leaderboard, was so that we could stay up to date with what's happening in the most recent market conditions. So that's pretty good, right? 10xing your odds. Well, we also just had a strategy that just came in called Plutus. And the cool thing about the leaderboard is all of our members that are trading different strategies, that are backtesting different theories, it all gets uploaded into this leaderboard, kind of like, when you're playing a video game as a kid and you play the video game and then you die and then it gets uploaded to the high score and you're like, whoa, you got 50,000 points, you got number 3 on the leaderboard. It's kind of the same thing, but for traders. So we just had a member that tested this strategy. They named it Plutus and it passed 92% of the time. Now, it's been backtest verified, and actually this strategy just came out into the market just this week, and we already had somebody that passed it in the live market. So this will be verified on the live market here soon, and it'll be number 1 on the leaderboard. Again, you can take a look at the results right here, and you can see we had 48 passes, 2 fails, and we also had 2 retakes, which basically means we ended the challenge in profit, but we didn't make enough profit, so we'll actually get to retake the challenge for free. Now, this strategy took a little bit longer, on average about 13 days to pass the challenge. So that sounds great and all, right? But how does this strategy actually work? It's actually pretty simple. What will happen when the market opens, the strategy or the robot will begin taking trades on your behalf based on an entry criteria, whether it thinks it should buy or it should sell. Now, this strategy also has something called an equity protector built into it, which means that if you get close to reaching your 5% max daily loss that you're allocated per day, then it'll actually cut you off at a 4% loss, okay? And it'll actually wait an entire week to begin trading again. Now, why does it do that? It waits because it means that if we hit equity protector, then maybe it's not the right market conditions for the strategy. So let's wait for the market to die down and let's try again next week. Now, next week, there's a high probability that the market conditions have changed and the strategy may begin working. If it doesn't, then it'll hit equity protector again. And then we have 1 more week to wait and it'll begin trading at the beginning of the next week. And hopefully it'll pass the challenge during that final week. Hey, by the way, I know this sounds exciting. If you'd like to just try it and check it out, you're totally welcome to do so. Going over to propfarming.com, and you only pay for this if it does in fact help you get funded. So going over to propfarming.com, you can get more details about how you can try this out for yourself. Now, a couple last minute things is it's great that you can get funded, but how does it actually work once you get a funded account? And the idea is kind of similar to how Monopoly worked. If you played Monopoly as a kid, you remember the idea is to try to collect as many of these little properties as you can. And anytime somebody lands on your property, you get paid rent and you make a little bit of money. It's the same thing that we're trying to do. All we're trying to do is use this robot, use data and probabilities to pass these prop firm challenges and secure these funded accounts. Each time we secure one of these funded accounts, it's like securing a property in Monopoly, which we can then go ahead and start to use as like a profit center. So the idea is to pass the prop firm challenges, secure the funded accounts, and then go for very conservative profit goals. Generally, we'll just go for like a 1% or a 2% profit target so we can keep the account as long as possible and try to make as many withdrawals as possible. So just to give you some rough numbers, let's say that you go and you end up getting 5 funded accounts, all worth $100,000. Well, historically, when we just go for a 1% profit target, which is pretty easy, we're able to make about $1,000 every 16.69 days per funded account. So on average, if you just go for 1% profit, you could make about $2,000 per funded account. Say you have 5 of them, boom, you can make an extra $10,000 per month. Say you go for 2%, then you can make an extra $20,000 per month using this specific strategy. And obviously these are hypothetical results. These are results of how it's performed in the past, however, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to perform exactly that way in the future, and past performance doesn't necessarily equal future performance, right? So again, the idea here is to use data and probabilities on your side. You can come over here, you can pick whatever strategy that you'd like to use. You can download the set file, you can select which account size that you want to trade with. It'll automatically download. You just install it onto your trading platform, MT4 or MT5, and then boom, you're off to the races. Once you get the funded accounts and pass the challenge, then the idea is to go ahead and start to use this as a profit center to start to make withdrawals. And that's exactly how so many people inside of our group have been able to become funded traders. We've been able to 10x the odds of what people are able to do by themselves. And we even have some members in our group that have gotten funded $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 and beyond. As a matter of fact, this is a member of our group that passed 8 challenges with these strategies with this robot and has been funded over $1 million worth of trading capital, which is pretty amazing. So now that you kind of get the idea of how you could use Forex robots to pass prop firm challenges and get access to capital, the next thing I want to show you is how we actually passed 18 prop firm challenges in a row. So go ahead and check out this video right now. We did it all using this Forex robot.